everybody, I'd like to welcome you to my first video. This is still a work in progress. You will hear the children in the background. The pandemic lockdown is having me lose my mind. I also have a 1-year-old little girl that is not very pleased with the idea that mommy's attention is on something other than her. If you are a parent, I know that you completely understand, but I would also like to assure you that as I get more comfortable using this format and creating more videos, that I will be coming up with an extended workplace specifically for these videos. Now, this first video that I'm doing is going to be a review of a Mainstays Basic yarn. And what this is this is a yarn that is sold primarily in Wal-Mart. For lack of a better term, it is a Wal-Mart brand yarn. And this is gold. And this is a very bright, vibrant color, as you can see. It's been used on a couple of different sunflower projects that I've done. I bought some for a friend who is a huge Steelers fan, and I made her a scarf out of it with the same brand, but using black. And so she has a scarf out of that. I've also promised her a blanket and socks and many other wonderful things that can be made with this yarn. One of the great things about this yarn is that it is very inexpensive. Whenever you start looking at the different brands and the different offshoots of those brands, you are going to get into a myriad of different things that are going to confuse you as far as price variations, so on and so forth. So the best way that I can describe the quality of this yarn is it is comparable to a Red Heart Super Saver. You get about the same yardage. In this particular skein, we get, let me see here, we get roughly 397 yards, which is also 363 meters. And so that's enough to give you quite a bit. I've been able to do a set of hanging towels and 2 matching pot holders off of 1 skein of yarn. And this 1 skein of yarn cost me less than $2 American. So really great value there if you're on a budget. The problem is their color supply is very limited. Now, as I've been keeping track of it, they have been adding new colors. And one thing that I love about it is their colors are always vibrant. They don't have these weird offshoot names like Antique Snow White or anything like that. It is gold, blue, black, purple. So if you just have a very basic idea of what you're looking for, this brand right here is a very easy brand to look for, and it's great for a beginner on a budget, because the last thing you want to do is go out and spend however much money on yarn, and you're really excited to get into a project only to realize that the yarn sucks. So one thing that I like about this is a number 4 worsted weight yarn. So it's very durable. I mean, I can pull on it and, you know, it's got some strength to it. But it also flows through my fingers very easily. It doesn't get wrapped up, it doesn't get caught up, and it is a center pull skein. And that is one thing that you'll find that not many people do. A lot of times you have to fight with the center or you have to pull from the outside. Personally, I prefer the center pull skeins because it helps keep my tension even whenever I start a project. And then by the time it gets too loose, I'm almost done with the project anyway, and whatever's left over I can just wrap up into a ball to use later as scrap yarn or add it to another skein, so on and so forth. Now, while I do not have anything here that I can show you that I've made with this yarn specifically, unfortunately, I can tell you that I have made pot holders, double-sided, and they have held up very well. I have made scarves with this particular yarn, and they don't scratch at your neck the way a lot of 100% acrylic yarns do. They're very, very warm. They're very insulating. The heavily quilted comforter that we usually have on our bed in winter, it doesn't contain nearly as much heat as one blanket crocheted with this particular yarn. So it has a good weight, it has a good drape, and whatever your project is, whether you have a tight tension or a loose tension. I myself have a very personally tight tension, and so using a very tight stitch like a single crochet or a half double crochet, it makes it very stiff in some places. And this yarn actually, it reduces a lot of the stiffness that goes in with it. Another thing that I like about this yarn is that it's not incredibly fuzzy. You can actually get a very clear look at what you're working with. It doesn't have extra fuzz that hides the stitches. Very rarely have I come across any knots inside the skein, and any knots that I do come across, they seem to be put together very well. I have no fear of them falling apart. I would highly recommend this for any kind of beginner, because it is recommended for a 5 to a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, which is a comfortable hook for any beginner because it's about part way in between a big hook and a little hook. It's very easy to use for simple projects such as previously mentioned blankets, hats, scarves, slippers. It is a wonderful yarn to use and I highly recommend it. If you want to look for something that is comparable but has a little bit wider color variety, then I would suggest a Red Heart Super Saver. But a great yarn for beginners is this right here. Once again, it is Mainstays Basic yarn, and it's a wonderful yarn that I highly suggest. So if you're looking for something quick, easy, and inexpensive to do a project with that's going to keep you warm, that isn't going to get tangled up real easily, where you can clearly see your stitches, this is a yarn that I highly recommend to any kind of beginner. So once again, thank you for watching my first video, and hopefully as I progress I will get a more clarified workspace and office space to where I can continue to show you not only the yarn that I recommend, but products that I have made with that yarn personally. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I am welcome to any constructive criticism because I know that I'm just winging it at this point. But anything that you have recommendations on or that you would like to see a recommendation on, be sure to drop a comment, let me know, and I will see what I can do to accommodate. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next video. Bye!